Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I have my sweater on, I have also the Juventus Christmas last edition mug with me with some coffee. It's cold, outside it's cold. This morning I was there with the under 9 that I'm coaching, there was a game. I can guarantee you I love football. But on the other side it was cold and it was raining. From the moment that the game started until the end, raining, mamma mia, total disaster. I went at home, shower, and then after the shower, when I felt a bit better, I watched the press conference of Max Allegri, what we will speak about in today's video. And remain with me because there is something that I actually don't really like from that press conference of today. A particular sentence or a way of speaking of from Max Allegri of a particular topic that I think we need a bit more grinta at a certain moment after the first 10 match days of the season. And then we'll speak about Mercato. Remain until the end because we'll speak about midfielders, a topic that we will continue to speak until January with a new name, the name of a pit bull. But attention, because we're also speaking about a defender, central defender that is coming from the Premier League. So pay attention, maximum of like if you didn't yet, continue to subscribe. We start. Before the press conference, let's go back to the game of yesterday, Bologna against Lazio, 1-0 for Bologna with a goal of Luis Ferguson. We spoke about him, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago, that it was in that short list of midfielders when I gave 10 names of midfielders, where I said it could be the possible cheap solution. Well, the guy is young, he's improving game by game by game, he's doing quite well, so I'm not that surprised that he was scoring that winning goal. Team of Maurizio Sarri is always an unpredictable team. Ups, some downs, not a fantastic, beautiful 11 games because they already played their 11 games. Consistency from the beginning of the season of the team of Sarri. So, on the other side, I really wanted to praise Thiago Motta, that is probably not a Champions League contender this season, but if they continue like they are doing, because at the moment they are 6th, well, they could possibly also scare some teams that have as an objective to enter the European qualification. You know, I was one of the first one, and the loyal one on the channel, they know that when we were speaking about a possible change for Allegri, of course being realistic, I gave the name of Thiago Motta. Well, Thiago Motta is doing extremely well. And they already played, if I'm not wrong, against Juve, Inter, Milan, Napoli, now Lazio. Doing the result that they are doing, you know, I wanted to take a second just to speak about that because they're doing quite well. So before going on the Mercato and speaking about midfielders, what did he say, Max Allegri? Well, the first one, of course, he spoke about the flooding problem, the natural disaster that is happening in Tuscany, in the region of Firenze, of Fiorentina, the club that we are playing tomorrow, saying of course that he was thinking about the family of the people that passed away unfortunately, and also all the people that lost not a human being fortunately, but unfortunately, or their properties, their houses, their cars, or whatever. It's a real disaster in Italy. And also for the people that are from Italy and watching the channel, I'm thinking about them as well. So hopefully you are strong and you keep strong. What I want to add on that one is that at today, from the moment I'm recording, and it's 2 p.m. Italian time, the day before the game, we have no idea if the game will be played tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Italian time. I tell you, I don't care. Football is the most important thing of the non-important things. How many times did we repeat it here on the channel? So I don't care if the game will be played or not. But what I care about is the security of the people and also the respect of people that are traveling, some from all parts in Italy, supporters from Fiorentina that wants to make that sure that that stadium is sold out, but also the people that are coming from other countries that are really already booked a plane, booked an hotel, booked all these kind of things. So if the game is really at risk, again, first the real problems have to be taken care of before giving priority to football. But also think about these people, because it makes totally no sense to make people travel from all around Europe, the world, to go to Fiorentina, Juve, and then at the end you're canceling the game, because you are not postponing the problem, you are just keeping the problem alive with people from all around the world in the city of Firenze. So please, Serie A, Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, as soon as possible, give a red light or a green light if the game goes on or not. That would be my thing. But I was happy that Max was starting the press conference with that one. If we go back to the football related things, well, the thing that I already spoiled you a bit that I was not happy about from the press conference of Max is from the moment that he's starting and ending with the same topic. And he's going with to come back from Firenze with a positive result, we must play a beautiful game from all different perspectives. So from the different topics that we have to put on the field. On that one, I agree. Because Fiorentina, even if they play 2 consecutive games, is a team that was able to score with 15 different players. It's a quite offensive team that love the ball possession. They are playing quite well. So it's a dangerous team. You know it, that rivalry, especially from the purple side towards our team. All the controversy in the latest days with the president Commisso against Juve and so on and so on. So it will be a tough game, an important game, and Juventus will have to do much better from all perspectives, defensively, in the middle of the field, but also offensively, with the first ever game of Federico Chiesa against Fiorentina in Firenze. But what I didn't like is the fact that he's saying to come back from Firenze with a positive result. What I would love to hear from Max Allegri, and it doesn't change the minimal objective of his qualification to Champions League, is that he's saying to come back from Firenze with a win. Because a positive result, when you're saying it like that, with these kind of words, with that kind of non-verbal communication, looks like a draw is a positive result. A draw can sometimes be a positive result. You never know. You're losing 2-0, you're able to do a remontada, drawing 2-2, depending also on the result of the other teams. So a draw sometimes can be considered a positive result. But at Juventus, I would love that a draw before the game is not considered a beautiful result. At the moment, after match day 10, you can't consider it a positive result. So I would love Max here to have a bit more, how can I say, verbal balls, because I'm sure that in the dressing room, the way of motivating the guys are different. But how you speak to your people that are watching, that are listening you, I would love to hear just a small difference. But to come back from Firenze with a win, we have to play beautiful game in all different aspects. That's what I would have loved to hear. Anyway, I'm not 100%. Then he continues speaking about the injury of Wea. What are the possible solutions? He said there are different solutions, of course. The first one is to move Weston McKennie where he started the season at, so on the right side of the field, instead of Wea. And then he said, or we play in a different way. But at the moment, we found certainties, and we have to continue, we must continue on these, to play on these certainties. So, listening to the words of Max Allegri, I think that we can already anticipate a bit that Weston will play on the right side of the field. We have like 2 games without Wea, the one of tomorrow, and then Cagliari. I really believe that Weston McKennie will play there on the right side of the field, probably with Miretti in the middle of the field. The last question was towards the topic Miretti, where does he need to improve? Because the journalist said, you have pro-Miretti fans, you have against Miretti fans. You are encouraging him, you give him minutes, and you also spoke about a really beautiful game against Verona from Miretti. What are the things that he can improve? He said he needs to score. Stop. That's the thing that he really needs to do, because a lot of time he has the possibility to go or on target or to score a goal, and he needs to unlock himself there, which I totally agree, because that will give another dimension to the number 20 of the Bianconeri. Then he spoke about Moiskin. Physically and technically, he continued to improve. He already showed that he is improving a lot on these aspects, and it's something that we already spoke about, but he also continued to grow mentally. But there are some players there with Allegri that is speaking a bit with cautious, like Weston McKennie, like Moiskin, 2 players that probably are good. They are doing progresses, they are improving, but sometimes they are losing a bit of concentration, losing focuses, not only in a game, but probably also in some parts of the season, where losing that focus, they are not able to play with continuity, showing their real talents. And I can guarantee you, it starts already from a small age. I'm coaching kids from 8 years old, and also them, sometimes in a game, in training session, they lose a bit of focus, and not always they are able to express their talent. And these are the things that probably he's noting. So he's saying at the moment, he's doing really well, physically, technically, but also mentally, and he needs to push on that and to continue. But the 5 players up front, and Chiesa, and Vlahovic, and Milik, and Moiskin, but especially also Kenan Yildiz, are all doing well. They know that 5 of them can't play immediately from the start. They know that or they start or they come from the bench, but there is playing time for everyone. They know about it, and important at the moment is thinking about the team more than the individual, whoever is starting. He spoke about Cambiaso. You know how many times I pushed about seeing Cambiaso possibly as an alternative on the right side. Well, he kind of this time admitted that without Weah, Cambiaso could be a solution on the right side. I believe that tomorrow Weston McKennie will start there. Also because he said in the middle there could also be or a Kneeling Jr. or a Cambiaso that can play as a mezzala, as a midfielder. So making some calculation. Why is he speaking about Cambiaso that could play on the right side or as a midfielder and that is doing quite well on the left? Because there is a bit of mystery. There are a bit of question marks. So thinking logically, Weah is not there. McKennie can start there, but you never know. He can have a red card. He can have, unfortunately, and I hope not, a small injury. He can be tired, whatever, and then you need a solution there. To not change the way of playing, well, Cambiaso could be there an alternative. I don't believe he will start there. On the other side, he's speaking about the midfield. Why? Because until today, Adrien Rabiot is the only player of Juventus that played the total minutes at disposal. There are 3 players, I believe, that played all the games. Bremer, Locatelli, and Rabiot. So the 3 players, but only Rabiot with the total minutes at disposal. It's a player that is starting always, and that is never going out. It's never been subbed. Well, the problem, and that's what I'm thinking about, is that he is at risk of suspension. A yellow card from Adrien Rabiot against Fiorentina will make him miss the game of Cagliari. And without Rabiot there, you continue to give certainties to a Miretti or a McKennie in the middle, to Locatelli for sure, but then you need to find someone. And there on the left side of the field, without Fagioli and so on, we need to find a possible alternative to not change at 3-5-2. So Kneeling Jr. that has been tested there in the summer, or even a Cambiaso, could play there possibly against Cagliari. So pay attention what I'm already anticipating you. About Sule, he had no doubt that he would do extremely well. He was already doing well at Juve when he played the game from the start or from the bench, but he needed a bit of continuity. And he said that if we kept him one more year at Juve, probably he would not have found the continuity, the minutes that he's receiving at Frosinone. I repeat you, Mattia Sule is a player that is playing in a 4-3-3, in a 4-2-3-1, can play in diverse styles, but they're offensively on the right side to enter a bit alla Dybala, a bit alla Di Maria, these kind of players. Or eventually as a trequartista in a 4-3-1-2. He can do these roles, but he can't do that 3-5-2. And Juventus is continuing, probably when they understood that that 3-5-2 would have been the basic formation of 23-24. Well, for Mathias Sule, it's better to go outside. For the future, we will see. What else did he said? What done until now is enough to reach... what done until now is not enough to reach our minimal objective, is Champions League qualification. A point on the injuries. De Sciglio could be back in training session, not yet for the game in 1 month, so probably we'll see De Sciglio in January back with the team really playing games. Alexandro could be back earlier than Danilo, because Danilo is still injured. We made new exams. We saw that it's still not 100% healthy, so he will miss the game of today. Hopefully we can have him back against Inter. So if Alexandro could be back before Danilo, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, and then you go with logically Alexandro could be back not today, but maybe next week already against Cagliari. Now, we have to speak about the Mercatos, because I already anticipated you. Yesterday, there was Antonio Conte that was there in Vinnovo, not alla Continassa. He was there to assist the training session of the under-19. Some people spoke about it. Honestly, I didn't see too much of a controversy, polemics, problem about it. Just Antonio Conte that is going there, not going there to say, what, I'm here, I want to take over the team of Max Allegri. He has 1 more year of contract. Max, at the end of this year, we will understand yes or no if he will continue. Anyway, today, Corriere dello Sport, they made a page about it, that Max Allegri is putting the fist on the table, saying, what, we have to speak about Mercato, we have to speak about the possible new players for January, and so on, planning already the future. I think it's a bit an exaggeration of Corriere dello Sport because they had nothing to say. But anyway, who are the players that Max is agreeing with, together with Giuntoli, together with Manna? Well, there is a name that we are not speaking that much about since a few days, since a few weeks, but it's Sudakov. And I always told you, pay attention to that player, Sudakov, that is really there high in the target list of Juve. Will they be able to sign him or not? Big question mark. In January, I think it will be quite difficult. And then the dream, that is Khéphren Thuram. I already told you, Khéphren Thuram is the big dream. But I also told you that in January, forget about it. In the summer, it depends if Juventus really wants to go for a big investment there, because it's a young player. He has all the qualities to do really well at Juve. On the other side, he will cost a lot of money with a lot of competition. So quite forget about it. But there is an assist from the Premier League, an assist of a player that I fell in love with when I saw him the first time. I think it was in the Euro or right before the Euro when he was playing in the Premier League. And it is Phillips, Kalvin Phillips. What a player. A player that I really love. A player that is out of the parameters of Juve in terms of money, in terms of salary. It's a player that at the moment, unfortunately, Serie A and Juventus can't allow themselves. But there is an asset from Manchester City. Why? Because the guy is not playing at the moment. He played only 3 games in Premier League with Guardiola, and he really wants to play that Euro that is coming up at the end of this year, Euro 2024. So he's looking for minutes. There are some teams from Premier League that are on the player. There is also Borussia Dortmund. There is Bayern Munich. So there are different teams. Manchester City wants to go with a dry loan, 6 months, probably also paying partially the salary of Kalvin Phillips. And if they can, because at the moment they are not first in Premier League, they would love to loan him to a team that is not competing with them for the Premier League title. So Juventus is ticking all these boxes. Then you will tell me, Beppe, but Juventus can't take players, where you don't have a future with, because you are just... Ragazzi, if we, at the end of December, if we have in January some difficulties to go with a big money, with big cash for a midfielders, if we have problems there with a loan of maybe the Pole that is not possible because of Atletico Madrid or whatever, if we have the possibility there to stick with the first one, to try to compete for bigger thing than qualification to Champions League, even maybe the title, the Scudetto, well, a Kalvin Phillips there, I would not say no, honestly, because he's a pit bull. That's also his nickname, the Pitbull, that can give a bit more grinta also in our midfield. So I would not say no, absolutely not. On the other side, Samardzic, if yesterday I told you there was some competition from Inter on the player, well, Marotta said no, he's not in the actuality at the moment at Inter. We are concentrated on the present. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. On the other side, the trainer, the coach of Udinese, he said if he stays or he would leave, it's not a problem that I taking care about. So, also there, I told you for January, Balzaretti said absolutely not. The coach said I don't care about it, or I don't care. Of course he cares. But it's not a problem that he's taking care about. He doesn't want to speak too much about it, so you never know. And we finish with the last news about a player that I didn't heard before in terms of linked with the Mercato of Juve, and we are speaking about Kelly. Kelly, that is a central defender with a left foot central defender, something that we are missing, because we know we saw with Bremer that he's doing some progresses, that he's doing and that is playing better than in the beginning of the season, has really difficulties to play with his left foot. Well, Kelly is a player that is doing quite well with Bournemouth, and Giuntoli and Manna are persons that are looking closely to the kid, and that were quite impressed by his way of having that maturity and also that leadership. Don't forget, last year was the captain of Bournemouth to play that first season in Premier League because they were promoted. They are not doing fantastically well, but the player that just changed agent is thinking about doing a step higher in his career. There are a lot of teams also there in terms of competition for the player, but he wants to continue to be a starter and possibly also play European competition, and why not also Champions League. So Juventus could be one interested on the player. Lloyd Kelly, 25 years old. He has everything to do really well at Juve, but of course, tranquilli, relax. It's a name of November that is more giving the intention of Juve to go for a left foot center defender, and why not maybe going in the future towards a four-man defense more than something really concrete that could happen from one day to the other. I hope you enjoyed that video. We told you, press conference, and then that second thing, Mercato. Let me know in the comment. Don't forget, if you reach the end of the video, maximum of like, continue to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.